Now, could they have won without cheating?
For sure.
This, yes, but now this could prove it.
Yeah, but they still cheated.
You're listening to the Draft in Hand podcast with your hosts, Greg, Ian, and Mark.
As we record our podcast this afternoon, Amy sits here taking a photograph
Of a cookie.
of a Halloween cookie.
Because it's that time of year.
We also
1 week
have
to be exact.
1 week
Yeah.
until spooky season.
You think the kids are going to come around this year?
Spooky season. They're not allowed to say trick or treat, though,
Why?
because that will spread the germs when they
What if they're
yell
wearing a
trick or
mask?
treat.
They can't all be doctors, okay?
They could
That's
be
not a
Bane.
Halloween costume.
They could be Bane.
What if they're sexy doctors?
Bane?
Because that's what people do these days.
Bane wore a mask.
They're children, Greg.
That's okay. So, like, that's one thing. If they were clever, they could incorporate, as Mark says, their mask into their costume.
Facts.
Many costumes have masks, like Bane, or I don't know, something more common like Spider-Man.
Or a doctor or nurse.
A doctor or nurse. They could walk around like a doctor or nurse. It's like, where are the rest of your clothes, doctor or nurse?
Greg's being a sexy nurse this year.
Most doctors or nurses are wearing, full clothes, like a full, like scrubs, or, a lab coat, not that outfit that you purchased.
I think
That looks
lab
like it
coat
could be for a pool.
I think that lab coat thing's only in commercials because, like, I never see doctors actually wearing lab coats.
Not doctors that you go to on a daily basis, but doctors that are more like,
I think it's more
research.
scientists.
Yeah, more research doctors than
Is the lab coat just to, like, try to make them look smarter?
I
Like,
think
I don't
it's
think
so they
you
don't
need a
get
lab coat.
bodily fluids.
Then why don't they
on
just wear an
them?
apron
Yeah.
like chefs wear?
That's more of a surgeon. So
Doesn't it do the same thing?
but the surgeon, you're more likely to get bodily fluids on you. What? We're starting off with bodily fluids. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Surgeons would have to change that every surgery, whereas a doctor would probably only have to change theirs like once a day because it's like lower risk, but still like,
Well, surgeons have to
suppose.
scrub in, right? And there's like a whole process of how long they have to wash their hands for, how long they have to wash like their arms for.
oh yeah.
And they put on the whole like surgeon outfit over top of their scrubs.
They
so
get into
then,
character.
yes. So then after that, they'll change those every surgery. Big ups to Grey's Anatomy for teaching me so much. I'm basically a surgeon now.
Lewis Hamilton has a large lead in the Grand Prix.
Hamilton's only pit once, though, and it's a 2-pit race. Verstappen's pit twice. Things I've learned from listening.
Amy, how does it make you feel?
Right now, it's pretty good.
Pretty
Fuck that
good.
guy, Max Verstappen.
Okay, we're going to shut up for a second. Everybody, welcome to the Draft in a Podcast. I'm Greg. There's Mark. Amy's joining us again. Amy with a cookie is joining us again.
Woohoo! Yeah, I needed to get my afternoon sugar rush in.
Yeah. And there's an afternoon race, so we just got the race on because fuck football.
Yeah, literally fuck football.
Although this is easily the best week in fantasy football I'm having. My teams, I drafted really well, auction draft really well. They then immediately fell on their face.
Injuries?
Oh, buddy.
You're a hospital in both leagues, in all your leagues, eh?
Every league I'm in is a hospital. It's a mess. But this week...
Crosby, Kuch, that's what you get for tanking, Greg.
Kucherov, Crosby. I drafted Malkin. That one's my fault. That one is my fault.
Yeah, but he was already injured when you drafted him.
Drafted him late.
That doesn't matter.
Exactly.
I mean, I drafted Eichel, so...
But late. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, but Eichel's a guaranteed keeper.
Yeah, you're right. My fourth keeper this year was not ideal. I'll tell you that
You
much.
should see my NFL teams, man. It's a mess. It's 3 teams, and people just go off. It's like, oh, we're playing Greg this week. Boom, 140 points. Like if you're above 100, like you should be above 100. If you're in the double digits in fantasy standard leagues, Yahoo, you're not doing good. You can win if someone has a trash week, but not really. Like you probably need to be up in like the 110, 120 range. People are just going 150, 140, like on a regular against me. They have just like how they have points for and against.
Yeah.
In Yahoo leagues, it'll show you how many points
Yeah.
people have against you. Oh, I am like all 3 leagues. I'm the top points against.
And
Like-
you have a decent points for.
Not the greatest because of injuries, but it's just like I don't know if I mentioned on the show last week. 2 of my teams, I would have kicked the snot out of every single person
But
except,
the person you played?
of course,
I hate when that happens.
like 140 points. The guy's like 155. It's just like, oh my goodness. Like, it's literally, my best team is 2-4. The others are 1-5.
Ooh.
But let's not talk about that. Only top 4 make playoffs too. There's no like semi, or just it's only semifinal and final.
How many teams are in there?
10.
What?
Yeah, you got to be good, man. It's like the MLB. It's like Major League Baseball.
Damn.
Yeah. Well, there's also not that many football weeks either, right? There's only 17.
17 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
It's not many.
4 teams? That's hectic.
Yeah. Which usually isn't a problem for me because, I draft well, but everyone's like, yeah, let's stub our toe. Speaking of stubbing our toe, Ian's not here.
Stubbed his toe.
Dropped
That's-
a curling rock on his foot?
He stubbed his toe on a curling rock. Let's move on.
He's not here to defend himself.
Okay, Amy, I have a ridiculous proposal for you.
I love ridiculous
Did you
proposals.
did you see on the social media, per the race in Texas, the F1 Circuit of the Americas, should F1 drivers, because Lance Stroll and Ocon and Schumacher all had the cowboy hats on, should you have to cross the finish line wearing a cowboy hat in Texas?
No.
No, because the aerodynamics will be all wrong.
Now,
Would the cowboy hat stay on even on your head in these cars?
It wouldn't fit.
uh
Actually, it probably would.
it's a ridiculous conversation.
I'll put safety into account too, so no.
But what about their wardrobe? What about their story? What about the feel? What about their personality? It'll show their personality.
Yeah, but
I think they had plenty of time to have, like,
I'd
throughout
rather
quali and stuff,
nobody
to have
die.
their
like a rock.
personalities show. Like, there's Daniel Ricciardo is my favorite person.
Yes.
He's so funny as a person, and his Texan accent is so funny.
He is from Australia, which is like
Down under.
It's not. They have cowboy hats down there.
Do they?
Wasn't the cowboy hat that I almost bought at the exhibition made in Australia?
Yes, that was an Australian. That was
Yeah.
Australian. An Australian
Leather?
shop,
Yeah,
an Australian place.
at the exhibition.
There's
I almost
subtle
bought a cowboy
differences.
hat. I almost bought a $200 cowboy hat.
Wouldn't Mark look hot in a cowboy hat, Amy?
No.
Disagree.
Yeah, I kind of disagree. I kind of rocked it pretty good. I
wasn't there that year that you almost bought that.
Yeah, I
The
know.
next year you almost bought, like, this wicker hat, which looked pretty cool.
A wicker hat.
Yeah. That's probably not the right material, but it looked cool.
No, a wicker is something you sit on.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure you like a straw
Okay,
hat.
it was like
a hay
woven.
Hat?
It was some sort of like plasticky material that was woven.
I don't know if
So it
plastic is like
looked-
the official natural material of anywhere,
Okay.
aside from maybe
so it was
China.
like a more dainty version of wicker.
Oh, okay, yeah. So maybe straw or
I
straw
don't think it was straw.
equivalent.
It looked like it was like woven pretty nicely.
Okay. The reason I ask about this, I'm going to segue into something just as ridiculous. The Toronto Maple Leafs dress code.
Who cares?
Who gives an actual fuck?
You know what we say? But now I'm putting 2 and 2 together. But maybe the dress code is why they're fucking poo garbage.
Maybe.
No.
Their pants are too tight, like that they wear into the arena. So there's something going on there that's making them not really that great. So now that we think about it,
Actually, I think
I'd-
Spezza was one of the only ones wearing a suit
I think I'd rather go with the formal dress
into the
code.
game, and Spezza's the only one who shows up to play.
2 nights in a row.
Yep.
So hang on. I want to wrap the dress code thing up real quick, and then we'll talk about the actual hockey, because they actually had a segment on Hockey Night in Canada. They talked about, their dress code, they can wear it into the rink. It'll tell them it'll be a good story. It's a good story. I hate when they say that. Story. It's a nice story. It shows their personality and their story, an expression in their story. They'll be able to express themselves.
They're just wearing clothes.
In their fucking clothes.
I get that. Well, I get it though. Like how
But their story, their personality.
It would be super cool to be able. Say you teamed up with a designer or something.
Yep.
And now you're walking into the arena wearing something that you designed. And
I'd be showing up in my fucking Roots sweatpants.
it would be cool.
It's an opportunity for the players to brand themselves and make a little bit of extra cash, because you can wear a brand or have your own brand, or like have that, and you have that like split-second camera shot of you walking into the rink.
Here's the thing, though.
Or
I don't
whatever.
think it's like branding necessarily, because it would be probably against contracts and guidelines of partnerships and stuff. Like
Not
they couldn't come in wearing like a
necessarily.
Nike tracksuit.
No, because they're Adidas.
Exactly.
But as long as the partnership doesn't conflict with Adidas, like as long as
Exactly.
it's a designer brand and the Leafs, for example, we're talking about the Leafs, don't have a suit place. Like, I don't... Like, not... For example, Moore's is a clothing store.
It'd be
in-
jokes if like Spezza walked in wearing
in
like
Canada.
a Budweiser shirt.
Yeah, so say... But Moore's is a store that carries brands. Moore's is not a brand on its own.
No, it
So if they have their own
Calvin Klein,
brand.
all that bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. So as long as they're not wearing, like Amy said, Nike and the NHL is sponsored by Adidas, but Matthews is going to walk in probably wearing something designed by Justin Bieber because he's got that. What's that brand that Justin Bieber's got?
Don't ask
Drew?
me.
Drew. Yeah.
Don't ask.
Mark, you've now learned is now Drew. That's what it's called. I don't know.
I get my shirts at a concert.
It wasn't just Austin Matthews, though, that got gifted things from that brand. It was the whole team. They got a bunch of stuff.
So, okay, don't get me wrong. Good opportunity to do that. But at the same time, I couldn't give less of a fuck.
Oh, same.
So, like, show it on the TV, it's fine. Show them walking in, and, like, but to actually, like, openly discuss it on Hockey Night in Canada and be like, oh, look, it's a great opportunity to show their story. And then it's like, oh, it's a National League. The guys should be dressed at least somewhat professionally. It's like, listen, someone made a good comment, actually. Can't remember who it was. But when people are talking about little kids walking into the rink, like 12-year-olds, oh, because I play AAA, and then little kids wearing a suit. Oh, that kid should be wearing a suit. Like, I get that. Like, genuinely, their parents are paying $20,000 to just play. Like, that's expensive enough. Can the parents afford to have their kid wear a suit and have like multiple suits so that you're not wearing sweaty suits everywhere? I guess if they're paying that much for hockey, what's another extra little bit for clothes? But at the same time, you shouldn't be putting that upon families and assuming that everybody can just
It's not
afford
a
fancy
job
clothes.
yet for the kid. It's a fucking
No.
sport.
I
Wear
get
a cheap
that.
It's supposed to
tracksuit
be
or a
fun.
sweater.
But they
Yeah.
probably also have like team sponsorships too. Like AAA teams have
Yeah, but
more
they're
sponsorships.
kids. They're not going to fucking Bay Street to go to work.
Yeah, but a suit
going
is
to
not gonna,
friggin-
a suit for a child is not going to cost the same amount
Yes,
as
I
a
know.
suit for an
but
adult.
they're going to go play hockey and have fun with their friends. They're not going to go work their friggin' 40-hour-a-week job downtown on the GO train.
It's
I
like
don't
as
know.
soon
They
as
get
you,
sponsors. They get sponsorships. So
as
Yeah,
soon
but
the
they're
kids
friggin-
don't necessarily.
the team does though. The team like usually
Which would pay
a
for
company
tournaments.
will,
But a
like that
12-year-old
usually pays for the jerseys. It pays
Yeah.
for stuff like that. So why wouldn't it pay for the suits?
A 12-year-old doesn't need to be going to hockey in a fucking suit.
I agree. I'm not.
Yeah. I just think the sponsor. If
If your sponsors are paying for my suits, it should be going more to skill development or fucking making my hockey cheaper.
True.
that
It shouldn't be making me have to pay for a fucking suit for my kid to play.
I also, what happened to the tracksuits that people got though? Because like I think the kids should be showing up wearing those like tracksuits that they would get anyway.
That's what
That's
Yeah.
what we got in the SHA.
I love
and
that
they were the
because
best. We
you-
got jackets sometimes, hockey bag every year. But
And
Yeah.
the coolest part about
it
those
was
jackets,
it was never fucking like,
Dress
oh, we have to
clothes.
spend fucking thousands. Parents never had to spend thousands of dollars on
No.
friggin' like.
but the coolest thing about those is like when you get old enough and then you get to like, do you still have some of your branded stuff from when you played hockey? Like I love that. When I used to
think
work at the
so.
rink,
my jackets still fit me for my Lions.
yeah, like I loved seeing like the dads come in or like even players come in wearing their like AAA jacket from when they were
true.
15, 16 years
Yeah, that's
old.
different.
Maybe
Jacket
midget
and
and their
stuff,
full age,
You're
yeah.
representing
Yeah.
your team. When you're wearing a suit, it's just like you're just a part of the.
Good. You're
I feel
corporate.
like
you're a
for-
corporate already. You're
Exactly.
12 and you're corporate.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
You're already turning a bit
And
this.
and you can't wear that if you're walking in and you're 16 years old and you're wearing a suit. Now, granted, like you're getting a little older. Maybe you're actually if you're about to get drafted or something. Okay, maybe like if you're starting to get to that age, but then you're losing. That's the age where your jacket might actually fit for the next 40 years. Genuinely, like
Which I love
17,
that,
18.
though.
And you kind of take that away. But all by way of saying, listen, go in, feel good to the rink. Like you're in the National Hockey League, so maybe don't show up in pajamas. At the same time, if you score at the pace of Connor McDavid, you could literally wear fucking nothing into the rink. I don't care.
So my favorite
Your
was
underwear.
Entertain me.
men's league in the summertime because I got to wear my flip flops into the rink.
I saw a tweet. I don't remember who it's by, but somebody basically said Connor McDavid has 13 points in 5 games. I have the guy that tweeted, I have 14 points in 6 games in men's league. Connor McDavid is playing men's league the same way I play men's league. Like Connor McDavid is making the National Hockey League look like men's league.
Or he's just a player. Yeah. Yeah. He's that guy.
He's that guy.
He's that guy in the division too low, but he has no other division to play in.
Because all of his friends are also on that team.
McDavid needs a league of his own. He's that good.
Okay, can we move on from dress code bullshit?
Yeah.
Because I was more frustrated. I'll be very honest. I was more frustrated by the dress code conversation and all the news about what the Leafs wear into the fucking rink than their performance on the ice. Because their performance on the ice was against another hockey team, whereas the conversation is just there to be it's just there for the sake of something to
talk about.
It's just bullshit, in my opinion.
Shouldn't even be talked about.
No. And yet we've now spent like 10 minutes talking about it, so let's just kill the conversation. Guys, we were at the game on
Friday.
We were at the Sharks, Leafs, 6 p.m.
Odd start.
It
was nice being home early, though.
It was. That's what I thought. I'm like, it's kind of nice. I went to the bar afterwards and got home by midnight.
Because when you're sitting bar, in there for midnight, like 2 hours, you're not really checking your phone. So when you go back and look at the time, you're like, I was like, oh yeah, it's not 9:30. It's only 8:30.
Yeah, that was nice. Getting out of there at a decent hour was nice.
Yeah.
Like I enjoyed the fact that we went out for dinner after, and it was fun.
And we were home by midnight.
Yeah.
Straight home. No strippers, Amy.
Why does... I feel personally victimized by this conversation. It's not me. It's my alter ego.
Okay. Guys, let's just get this out of the way. How do you feel about the Toronto Maple Leafs?
Yeah, I don't know.
I fell asleep during the
karma
hockey game
for that
last
guy
night.
who threw his garbage at me still. This is all karma for that little asshole.
I would have decked that guy.
This is all your fault. If you're listening to this is all your fault, pizza
Mark,
guy.
Yeah. So
this is karma.
Mark, you've already vented about
also
that.
Mitchell Marner.
Yeah.
He is softer than I am going into the corner with a puck. Without the puck, man. Like I might break one egg, Mitch Marner's not breaking any eggs.
Wow.
And that's not because his hands are soft. That's because he's soft.
What?
Because I've never seen a player turn away from engaging the puck like in the corner of a board play than like him in like the last couple games that like ever.
Do you have any specific instances that you can reference?
It was
yesterday.
Second period, I think yesterday.
Pittsburgh.
Puck was in the offensive corner, and then he would have been third guy in.
Okay.
But one Leaf guy was in the corner battling with a Pittsburgh guy. He could have been third guy in to help, but instead he just stood like 5 feet away on the boards, like feet planted, just waiting for the Leaf guy to get it out on against two Penguins.
So it might have been like Richie or whoever's on his winger.
Fucking Richie's trash.
Well,
but yeah, it could have been Richie. I don't know. It wasn't Matthews, that's for sure.
Okay.
But and then he just turns away from the play. He doesn't engage anybody when they have the puck. He's like these little swings with the stick.
Hero checks.
It's just
say.
fucking stupid. And he doesn't attack the defense anymore like one-on-one like he was doing early last year. He skates in and then fucking does a little curl around and then just throws the puck away. Mm-hmm. He's like created a few chances for people to score and they haven't scored, but...
So what do you feel about the people that are saying it's only game 6 this season?
They look like they've been playing like this for the last 40 games, continuing from last year.
Because there's the other side of the argument that a lot of people are coming up with. It's not game 6. It's like year 6 now.
Well, it's like game 46 if you continue from last year,
or if you continue from the year before, which is looking very similar. It's game like 100. But that's the argument. It's like it's season 5 or 6. It's not game 6.
Yeah,
like it's the same shit. Amy, what about you? Anything that or did you just passed out? You're like, I've had enough of this.
I was so tired yesterday from, we only got home at midnight on Friday night, but I went to go help my friend with renos on Saturday morning.
You're such a good friend.
Oh my God.
So you just you no longer had the mental capacity to watch the
I was
Leafs
like, what
lose.
the fuck is happening? Like, this looks like... So... One time I went to watch Mark's hockey game, and this is no disrespect to Mark and his hockey.
Oh, we're bad.
Okay.
But the way I described it to Mark was I was like, your team looks like a dirty mop out there.
Okay.
So you know how like a mop, an old school mop has like the seams that hold it together?
Yes, they're all the strands are stitched together.
So that was the puck, and then the players are all the fucking the strings of the mop just fucking everywhere.
Yep.
That's how I felt the Leafs looked like. A dirty mop.
Wow. What a great analogy. You know what? Also a very refreshing take because I haven't heard the media mention that before. Wow. What a very refreshing and compelling analogy.
You're gonna
Give it though. Rasmus Sandins looked good though.
You're gonna watch a hockey game now, and when the team's playing like dog shit, you're gonna be like, "Oh my god, they do look like a dirty mop."
Hashtag dirty mop.
Hashtag dirty mop.
Hashtag leaves forever. Guys, I have a few names written down. I wrote down a couple names after the game that we saw on. First of all, I just want to mention that it was really cool going to the game Friday. I know they didn't play great, but
Hey, when you can get tickets cheaper than face value,
Can I just
we
say?
did.
So we were having drinks at the game, right? And so when you go to these events, you can't just get what you want usually because they have limitations and rules on what they can serve people because they don't want to overserve people.
Mm-hmm.
So I was drinking whiskey on the rocks.
I'm proud of you.
And thank you.
Yeah.
Beer just, ugh, I
Okay.
can't do beer anymore.
Okay.
Anyway, so my whiskey on the rocks. The next time I went up, I'm like, man, by the time I was finished, it was really watered down, also really cold. I was not about it anymore.
Okay.
So the next time I go up there, I'm like, can I just have my whiskey neat, please?
Oh. Ooh. Okay. The flavors really come out when it's neat.
Yes.
That's pure.
Yes.
Whiskey neat, for those who don't know, is like the whiskey. That's it. No ice, no nutting.
So the bartender tells me, he's like, I can't give you this drink without a mix.
Okay.
I was like, okay, I guess just put ice in it, I guess.
Yeah.
This guy put in 1 cube of ice in my
Nice.
drink.
Wow. Yes. The real MVP from Scotiabank
oh my
Arena
God.
Friday night.
I went back to that
Amy's
guy.
bartender.
It was great. Big ups to him.
You were across from my brother and I, so you guys were near that draft zone area, like
Yes.
the big wooden
Yeah.
area
The
at the
nice,
one
like,
end.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a
gate
rustic
6
looking
end?
bar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Scotiabank entrance end.
Yes. That's a cool spot.
That's
it
where
gets
we went
busy,
in.
but like it's cool.
Yeah, it was easy. Everybody's lined up at the entrance closer to the entrance to Union there.
Yeah.
And I was like, Amy, let's go to the Scotiabank entrance over there. I was like,
So
I have a
this-
Scotia card, but they just let anybody walk through. But
Yeah.
nobody's going to that line because they assume you have to be a Scotia member.
And so you went in basically off of Maple Leaf Square.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just it was like the first thing that I've done since COVID started.
Oh, that's dope.
Other than play hockey, which is it's like baseball and hockey, I should say. Baseball wasn't outside, so you had to have
It's not the same as an event though.
exact. You're not inside. You're still outside. Hockey, okay, it's getting back to normal, but there's still rules. You still have to wear a mask. You still have to get checked and stuff like that. My brother was there, and just he was all excited. He has his new jersey because he hadn't worn his jersey since national sports closed down. And
I really did enjoy being there. I took some nice photos.
Oh, I got a funny story.
Us.
was it from the game?
Yeah, I'm at the urinal and I got my Tim Brent jersey on. And then one guy beside me, he's like, yo, Timmy Brent jersey. I'm just like, yeah, man. He's like, yeah, I grew up playing with the guy down from Cambridge. I'm like, then I asked him, he was like, you still keep in touch? I'm like, yeah, tell him. I'm like, tell him about the jersey. He's like, I will.
Tim Brent once a couple times a year, Tim Brent gets a text from a cousin or friend or something about a guy going to a game wearing a Tim Brent jersey, and I'm pretty sure it's always Mark.
Yeah.
It has
Mark
to
will just be the guy with the Tim Brent jersey.
Oh, yeah.
Fits real nice though. It's like a nice fit.
Oh, perfect fit.
Yeah.
It does look good on you. I wore
Nice
my
jersey.
Arena's jersey on Friday, and I feel like I got to retire that one for a little while.
Why?
Why? Who's on the back of
Who's
it?
on the back?
Fucking Mitchell Marner.
She used to hate Nylander.
Oh, I think the tides are turning.
I don't
know.
hate Nylander.
I think they're turning real quick.
And Amy, I don't hate Max Pacioretty either, but apparently I do. Apparently I do.
I don't hate Nylander.
Okay, I'll say one thing about the jersey I wore. One thing. I, for the first time ever, saw another Morgan Riley Big House, which is the 2014 Winter Classic. That was his rookie season. First time I've ever seen a non-knockoff.
I saw an
jersey.
Alan McCauley jersey too.
I had the same, but until then, I thought I had the
Throwback.
only. I thought I had the only Morgan
3.5
Riley
seconds,
Winter
Amy.
Classic jersey from the Big House from Morgan Riley, and I saw one. So I no longer feel unique or special.
You're
So
always
there's that.
unique and special,
Wow,
Greg.
I feel like you just said that just to make me feel better, and it did a little bit.
Good. I'm so glad.
Okay, so I'm gonna write down a list. I have a list here of some players, so I want to talk about some players. Jason Spezza.
Yeah, he's good. Probably been our best player.
Last week I asked, or 2 weeks ago, I'm like, is Jason Spezza the captain of this team? And I know that's a kind of a dumb question because, of course, it's Tavares, and Tavares has not been bad by any means. But if you need something to happen, that literally so far this season, going into last season, because Mark, as you say, and you're not wrong, it's been a continuation. Jason Spezza is the guy that gets things done.
Yeah.
Facts.
I don't think we need to talk about Jason Spezza anymore. We love Jason Spezza.
Yeah, and I never thought we'd love a guy who played for Ottawa.
Well, as I watched, I'll talk about this in a bit. I watched that All or Nothing, and Jason Spezza's dad's like, "Yeah, I can finally cheer for the Leafs openly now because he's always a Leafs fan." Yeah. Have you watched it, Amy?
I have not.
Okay.
But I gave Greg my password for Amazon.
I got my own login. I am an Amazon shareholder.
He is sorry. He just didn't remember his password, so I let him borrow mine. And I get a text message 5 minutes later. Your Amazon account was signed in here. It's like, oh, I texted Greg. I was like, I guess you're watching it, eh?
So Spezza's on the good list.
Oh, good.
Mark, you mentioned Sandin, and for the first half, at least the first period, probably the first half of the Pittsburgh game, I'm like, yo, Sandin looks like our best defenseman, and I don't know if it's close.
Yeah, he looks really fucking good. He laid a guy out too yesterday after he took a little shot in the boards.
And then the guy comes up to us like, hey, you got to fight for that. It's just like, what the fuck are you talking about?
He's like, I just took a dirty shot right before that hit. It's like, I got that guy back, got that guy back clean. Yeah, he laid out Gensel. Yeah. That's probably the only reason why, because he's the Pittsburgh's best player out on the ice right there. They were down everybody.
It was Pittsburgh's only guy, basically. Campbell had a rough game against the Penguins. Not much help, but Campbell,
he's right in the middle for me.
Listen, any points the Leafs have is because of Campbell so far.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, last week I said Campbell is the MVP of the team. I think I would agree now. It's Spezza now.
And it should fuck.
But Campbell's right
Shouldn't be your oldest player on your team.
Any thoughts on Campbell?
See him play more.
He'll
keep them in games. I like that he's picking right up where he started last season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to see him play more games.
Mm-hmm.
I guess. I just feel like he probably could have started Friday and Saturday this week, but like you can't be tired.
They had a whole week off.
And it's like
not a whole week, but most of the week off.
Games into
3
the
days
season.
off. Like there's no way Campbell can't go 2 days in a row.
And how old is he? Like
doesn't matter his age. It's just start of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
and he's what they call, as in baseball they'd call it a young arm, because he hasn't had high volume starts for most of his career.
No, he hasn't even had 100 career starts yet.
No, I don't know how much he played in the American League, but I mean it's more of a rotation down there usually anyway. Jack Campbell, hey, looks good. Hasn't stood on his head and stole a game entirely yet, but
yeah, he's on the meh.
Hopefully it'll happen.
He's not good or not
sooner
bad.
rather than later.
I got 2 more players on my good list here. Bunting, I thought he's like a little greasy. Like he's doing his job. He hasn't been.
I thought Bunting was playing really well,
but it's noteworthy that you know what, there weren't many Leafs that I was impressed by. So I'm like, I gotta put Bunting down because he's doing what we brought him in to do: piss people off, score a couple greasy goals, be the guy that's in the middle of a couple scrums. He was the crowd certainly got excited over a little face wash in San Jose. I'm like, let's pretend like we've seen a face wash before.
Oh, I know.
But the fans
really
they haven't
funny.
seen a fight in I don't know how long, so just a little face wash and everybody's fucking excited.
Everyone's losing their marbles.
Oh my goodness.
And the last guy that I got is William Nylander, just because
On the good list? Yeah.
Nylander doing
that was right in front of us. That stick lift to give Matthews that point blank slap shot that Aaron Dell snared.
No, that wasn't Dell. That was.
I'm sorry, Hill. Yes, my apologies. The San Jose Sharks goaltender. The stick lift. I don't know who Nylander lifted, but it was right at the blue line, right at their own blue line, as the guy was about to fire the puck into an empty net because the Leafs were down. Turned the puck right back over. Tavares drop pass to Matthews. That all started because of a William Nylander. Sorry, the very lazy European William Nylander back checking.
Oh yeah,
William Nylander.
So I don't think he's looked too. And yeah, he will. And he is notorious for taking a shift off or whatever. But at the same time, it's like he's scores and he does that. So like
He shows up.
in the All or Nothing documentary, Kyle Dubas says William Nylander will drive you nuts one shift and then you'll love him right back again like the next shift. Dubas says that. They catch Dubas saying that in the show. I have a few notes from the show that I want to go over. So maybe after we finish talking about the Leafs. Let's go through the bad list. Things that I've had noteworthy.
So how long is this list?
I tried to keep it pretty short because I don't want to list just the roster. Okay. I tried to keep it. We'll try to balance out the good list, bad list. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So number one. So Mark, I asked about Nick Ritchie last week, and you said he hasn't looked bad, but you made a very fair point. He had yet to play a game with the line that they signed him to play on.
Can't keep up with them.
No.
Dude literally makes Matthews and Marner shorthanded.
Who was that, sorry?
Ritchie.
Oh.
I don't know how many shifts Ritchie took with Marner and Matthews against San Jose on Friday, but very early into the second period, I lean over to my brother and I say, yo, it looks like Engvall's playing top line minutes. And it's something that we talked about I talked about this last year. The Leafs still do not have a first line left winger.
I miss Hyman.
Hyman filled in great. Hyman, and so we've been over this, so if you've heard this before, I don't want to repeat myself, but Hyman's not a first-line winger on his own, the way that Matthews is a first-line center on his own.
Yeah.
Right.
But Hyman complemented them so well.
Right.
Like Kunitz complimented Crosby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ritchie is not Hyman.
No, God, no. Far from that.
No. Could Bunting be?
No.
Could Kasha be?
No. Maybe.
I would like to see that.
I like Kasha.
Me too.
I think we all are on that boat. Kasha's another name that should be on the good list. He's breakaway goal. Nice little move. Took out the ref too. I know Ian liked that.
Wes McCauley.
All right, we're going down the bad list. We've already talked about Mitch Marner, so I don't want to harp
The
on him.
shit list.
Marner just doesn't look. I don't even know how to describe. I don't know how to describe what I'm not seeing. I'm not seeing the hockey.
Yeah, it's just bad.
Yeah.
I don't have Matthews on here. He just started this season, but the thing with Matthews, and we talked about this before, they're getting too cute. So when you shoot the puck in hockey, one, it can go in. That's possible. But shooting the puck becomes a 50-50 puck. Anybody can get the puck after you shoot it because you give it away. You shoot the puck towards the net. Now, however, if you are positioned well or if you have good hockey sense, you have a better opportunity to get the puck back again. It's true.
Yeah. Makes sense.
If you shoot the puck, you are at the very least making the opposition defenders turn around and protect the front of their net because that's where the rebound is going to be. That's the high traffic area.
That's the direction of where the puck's going.
As the team collapses into their home plate area in front of their net, the puck is probably either going to show up there, or if you miss the net or hit the post, or the goalie puts the puck in the corner,
wrap around the board of opposite where you're shooting,
and you're going to get the puck back if you have any hockey sense at all, because that's where the puck's going to come.
Well, in Bensley, when I'd always do this with my one buddy, he'd always aim a high far side, so.
Men's League hero.
I'd always be come down. I'm like, I'm just gonna go to the board's far side because if he misses the net, the puck's gonna end up here.
If you have half a brain, you can.
And then he'd always be ready because if he missed the net, I was sliding it right over to him for one timer.
So
it was like a set play without being a set play.
Matthews, by shooting the puck, and not just him, but by shooting the puck, you are creating space for yourself because the other team has to defend the high volume areas. And when the Leafs are cute, when they're doing the too much passy. Yeah, you're setting yourself up for potentially a highlight reel goal, but you're also losing all those other chances to show the team that, hey, we're putting the pucks on the net. You better take care of the front of your net because at the same time, the Leafs don't have a reputation of we'll beat you to the front of the net either. Maybe Bunting, maybe Simmons.
And if I played in the NHL,
it's gotta be everybody.
I would like circle when we're playing Toronto on the calendar because I know that's going to be an easy game. I'm not going to get hit that game. Leafs aren't mean. Leafs aren't physical. Leafs don't go hard to the net. It's going to be an easy game for me that day. I'm not going to have to put ice packs on after that game.
You'll also be able to go out for dinner with your family afterwards.
Yeah.
And have a nice time and tell them about the point or 6 that you got.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure teams have that mentality when they play Toronto. It's like, fuck, we could just run this team like hard and they're gonna crack.
Which was the reputation the Leafs had before Brian Burke, and Brian Burke said, I'm gonna stop that bullshit. And it's kind of gotten back to that. At least the Leafs, like, when you had Kadri, you kind of had a guy
Pittsburgh
who
leaned
could
on
do
them
that.
hard to start that game, and there's a lot of hits to start that game.
Yeah, there were.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I don't think the Leafs liked that yesterday. It's like when they play the Islanders. Islanders are big and heavy, and the Leafs don't play good against teams like that.
Hamilton's getting close. Verstappen's in the lead now. Have they both pitted? I think everyone's pitted.
They've both pitted twice.
4 laps to go.
Well,
I'm gonna. Well, Amy watches last 4 laps. I'm gonna keep running down my this shit. We're not done. We've only talked about 2 people on my shit list. So the shit list, I'm never gonna put Hutchison on the shit list because he's the number 3 goalie of the organization, and anybody who talks bad about a number 3 goaltender in the organization, specifically about the goaltender, should probably be fired, period, from their period job, period, writing, period. You're a fucking disgrace to journalism.
Period.
Yeah, I can't hate on Hutchison. Like,
he signed here to be the chaperone of the Marlies goaltending thing. Like, he signed to be on the Marlies. And an emergency for the Leafs if there's an emergency, and there always is an emergency. You guys know how I feel about Mrazek. He could be a top goaltender if he figured his shit out. He still hasn't. He's still injured. Great.
Yep.
And you know what? And I know it's early in the season, but you need if Mrazek's out for what, like a month, maybe, I don't know, at least a couple weeks, you need something from Hutchison. Campbell can't get all those starts. You need at least something. And the Sharks, I suppose, were the best option. Whatever, back to back. Okay. Give the Leafs the best chance to win. At least they didn't do the Babcock thing where they throw Hutchison to the Wolves in the back-to-back, the second half. So at least they tried something a little different. But on my shit list is the number 3 goaltending prospect, or the top goaltending prospects for the Leafs, because, Amy, Mark, name one goaltending prospect that has actually played an NHL game for the Leafs and has stayed with the organization for any period of time.
James Reimer.
That's one.
Ben Scrivens.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's 2. But he didn't stay with the organization very long. But let's count it because the list is that short. So let's count it.
So let's count it.
Tuukka Rask doesn't count.
Nope.
What's that other guy who was
during our lifetime? Let's keep it during our lifetime. During my lifetime, I suppose Felix Potvin. We're going back.
Yeah.
Michael
I barely
Tellqvist?
remember Potvin. Sorry, say that name again.
Michael Tellqvist?
Michael Tellqvist. Didn't stay with the Leafs very long. The list is that short that we should include it.
What's that? He was with the... Sorry, the Leafs or the Marlies?
Sparks?
I was thinking of Kaskasuo.
Sparks even hear that one?
Kaskasuo, no, it's not.
No.
I mean, he literally played one. I think that was
Was
the
it
last
only-
time they were in Pittsburgh was Kaskasuo. R.I.P. to that start. That was a shit show.
Yeah.
Kaskasuo was playing in
He'd only
Sweden
played the
or
one
Finland,
game,
I
though,
think.
right? Or I
Yeah.
don't... That was just the only...
Guys, it is
name
that bad. And you can't blame Kyle Dubas for the 2000s because he wasn't fucking the GM of the Leafs in the 2000s. You can't blame Dubas for even 5 years ago because he was like the Marlies GM 5 years ago. And their goaltending wasn't actually too bad. So...
Who was their goalie when they won the Calder?
Was it Sparks? It was Sparks. And Calvin...
Picard?
Yeah, I think it was something. I should know this.
I don't remember.
But it was something. They're not part of the organization anymore. The Leafs number 3 goaltender, and I ranted about this at the start of the year, at the very end of last season, that the Leafs have developed no goaltending to speak of in the past, in my lifetime.
Ever.
In my lifetime.
They developed one for, Boston.
They drafted one and traded him.
Yeah, that's it. That is literally it. We don't even have him.
The job of a number 3 goaltender is to be that young kid that can come up and sort of wow you at the start and gives, some hope for the future, and the Leafs can't even do that. Hutchison, you cannot blame Hutchison because that's not him. He's just there filling a spot that is...
Sadly, it didn't go.
And the last one I'll say was on my poop list is, unfortunately, I love the guy, but Morgan Rielly just hasn't looked great. He's looked good at a couple times, but he hasn't looked. He looked last week. I said he looked like he wanted $9 million. Now he does not want $9 million.
No, that's what I mean. We both said Sandin looks like he's becoming our best defenseman so far early in the season.
Yeah. Which, when you have Morgan Rielly on the team,
Oh, can I give a shout out to
Rielly.
Pierre Engvall for being a +1 yesterday?
+1.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Nice.
+1 in a 7-1 loss. Oh my goodness. If you haven't heard, okay, so the Pittsburgh Penguins were without Crosby, Malkin, Letang, Rust, Carter. Steve Dangle made a great point. That's a good power play. They're without literally all three of their centers, their best defensemen. They were almost without Jari because he was on COVID protocol.
Yeah.
And then I guess he got
cleared to play.
Yeah, they got false positive or something.
Their first line center was Evan Rodriguez,
who we traded for, but then didn't sign because we're like, nah. What the fuck? Like, I was a little mad last night, but then I had a couple adult beverages and I was like,
And then you got even more mad?
I mean, I don't know. Like, you can only get mad if you have certain expectations, right? Like, if it's like, if you sort of are just like, then if you kind of go in with that attitude, then you can't really get mad. You're like, what's the score now? 6-1.
Yeah, but they're playing Pittsburgh without everybody. You expect them to win.
The problem with expecting the Leafs to win is beginning with the Leafs.
The expectation.
Yeah, it's the expectation. It's
maybe drop that.
Maybe cut that shit out right now. Until proven otherwise. Which it will be the playoffs. Guys, is there anything else to say about the Leafs? I mean, let me check my notes. Their next start is against...
Watch them beat Carolina 5-0 tomorrow, and everybody's like, oh yeah, the Leafs are fine.
Yeah. Oh, my note I set, it's a Freddie Anderson. Carolina Freddie Anderson. So Freddie Anderson's going to shut them out.
Oh, yeah.
It's the last lap of the race.
Verstappen's in first. Hamilton's right behind him.
Yeah, less than a second.
Guys, so they're going to get shut out Carolina. That's for sure.
That's tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah, that's Monday night. So you might...
I love Monday hockey games. It's just a good way to start the week.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I also like Monday hockey games.
I work Monday evenings, so I mean, I get to watch the third period, but yeah, that's fine.
Something to look forward to after work,
yeah,
because Mondays suck for everybody. But then you're like, yeah, at least I get to go home, watch a hockey game,
enriching the skating minds of tomorrow.
That's what I'm doing. Yeah. So they're gonna get shut out in Carolina. So you may or may not be listening to this podcast after they get shut out in Carolina. So look forward. So I hope you enjoyed that. The next game is against the Chicago Blackhawks, who are currently winless. They play the Detroit Red Wings.
Oh, just wait
tonight. I think recording this on Sunday, October 24. They play the Blackhawks, so that'll be the Blackhawks' first win. Like, duh. Like obviously.
When do they play them? Wednesday, Thursday?
Yeah, like later in the week. So no need to look forward to that game because it'll be another.
Jonathan Toews will get his first points of the season.
Either that or somebody that you've never heard of. Like what the guy almost got a hat trick. That it's like I've never heard of.
Oh,
like
the guy
Michael
in
O'Connell or
Pittsburgh?
whatever.
Yeah.
It's like I've never heard of you, but of course. The worst part. I don't want to talk about the Leafs for too long here because there's nothing much to talk about. The worst part is seeing who was out of the lineup for Pittsburgh. Everyone was like, "Of course, the Leafs are going to lose." Like people were already calling it, and without being too sarcastic.
Fuck's sakes.
I'll turn it off.
Yeah, Verstappen, Hamilton, is Perez in third. Leclerc, Charles Leclerc fourth. Charles Leclerc in fourth.
We're not those people.
Mark, where did your boy Lando finish?
I don't know. He turned it off.
Amy was upset.
Amy's upset.
I'm fine, but that
8th.
That was a crazy last 15 laps.
Hamilton's tires got too friggin' worn down to catch up anymore.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Congrats, Verstappen. But hey, man, they're keeping it close.
Yeah.
Keeping it tight.
That was a good race, too. That was the first race we've watched in a long time that the weather has been beautiful.
Usually just something happens to mess everything up.
Like last week or 2 weeks ago, it was rainy.
Were
the
they
last
2 weeks
4
ago?
races I've watched have been rainy.
Russia?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sochi. Guys, anything else to say on the Leafs?
Get good.
One thing to...
Why are your tickets so expensive for a shit team?
Yeah.
They keep
Okay.
on losing and
Next.
stuff like that into like a how bad they're playing. Do you think Dubas regrets giving that extension to Keefe?
You know what? That thought did cross my mind. Because it's like at some point something's gonna have to happen. Like
If they keep playing bad.
It's early. You don't want to overreact. At the same time, you're seeing the same. So I just want to go through the notes for the All or Nothing, but you hear them talk about it in the Amazon documentary All or Nothing. Like, you hear them talk about the things that they're bad at. We've talked about it. You've heard about it on Toronto Sport Media. You've read about it. I don't want to just repeat all that stuff. But they talk about it too. The team talks about it. They know. They're not dumb. They just do dumb things. Well, that's an excellent question, Mark. I don't know if he regrets the extension, but something may have to happen.
He may have given it a little too soon.
Something may... Well, you can't go into a season with a lame duck coach because that doesn't make any sense for anybody. And that would be unfair, I think. Maple Leaf Sports Entertainment has money to pay a coach for an extra... They're still probably paying Babcock. This is the final year they're playing. They're paying Kessel. They're still paying Phil Kessel. Phil Kessel gets a check with a Toronto Maple Leaf logo on it. So... I don't know. The one thing I'll say, though, is watching the game live, you notice where the puck stops. There's certain players in the Leafs, and when you watch the Leafs, notice where the puck stops. And by that, I mean there's no pass made. It's like a dump into the corner for a cycle, sometimes blind, or they skate it into nothing. Just look at the players where the puck stops. Who does the puck stop at? And I'll leave it at that, and maybe we'll touch on that like in another episode, but just for the listeners, notice who the puck stops at. And I would love to see different line combinations. Like, don't run it back again. If it's not working, come out of the gate, fresh line combinations, genuinely split up Marner and Matthews. Honestly, if I was Kyle Dubas, I would want to see Matthews without Marner and see if you can find a combination that works without Marner, because you have to explore options, if you know what I mean. You need to explore those options in case you need to move people.
Brilliant.
So, okay, let's keep rolling here. Can I just roll through my notes for the All or Nothing series?
Sure.
Yeah.
There's not real spoilers. It's just things I noticed. So, there's only 5 episodes, about just under an hour each. I think they could have done 4 times that many, but I guess their contract was only for 5. Andrew and I were watching. Andrew's like, this is kind of like watching Titanic. You know how it's going to end, but you're watching anyway. So it's like watching the fucking movie Titanic. I was a little surprised at the lack of storytelling. The storytelling, if you unpack it, or if you unpack it yourself, or if you sort of know the underlying themes, there is storytelling, but it's beneath the surface a bit. Will Arnett does a good job sort of contextualizing and giving background info. He's the narrator.
Oh, that's cool.
Great pick for a narrator.
Yeah.
Does a great job.
I agree.
I like how they use Sheldon Keefe to sort of organically... Like, remember when we did Shakespeare in school? You remember what a soliloquy was? It's like when a character sort of talks on their own to the audience, but it's like what they're thinking to sort of advance the story. They sort of use Sheldon Keefe as that, is like post-game or intermission or team meetings. They use a team meeting to sort of push the story forward, which is kind of cool. But it I don't want to say it becomes stale, but like... His messaging is like there's a lot of urgency there, and then so it shifts between Keefe telling the players and sort of pushing the story forward, and Will Arnett, but you kind of have to unpack it yourself. So there isn't like a lot of storytelling that goes on there, and I suppose the series is a bit too slow or too short. It's not slow by any means, but it's too short to really fit all that in. So you could have told. Like you could, but there was no story from like following the player's perspective. The way Drive to Survive tells like the story, and they follow the players. They don't really follow the players. All they really like, they'll throw in Marner's family, and or Marner and his dog at the park, and John Tavares and his kid and stuff at the park, and like of course they throw in Austin Matthews' parents, who are like celebrities because they're the best, like of course, and it's them out at a gun range, so it's like that you don't have gun range. Cool. You don't have gun ranges in Toronto, so of course that's a bit. And then the Foligno thing and the Spezza. So they go a little bit, but they don't really follow them, or they touch on them. They don't. There's no real story there beyond.
There's nothing in depth.
No, it's very surface level. I really liked the micro interactions between like Kyle Dubas and Sheldon Keefe, who are kind of like the main characters, sort of. That was kind of cool. And you got to see Kyle Dubas' office, and you hear all the things about his magnets on the wall with all the player info. I appreciated the honesty. Like when VC went on waivers, Shanahan's like, "Oh shoot, like really? Like I can't believe we actually like lost him on waivers." you catch that instant. But I appreciate that those like little bits of honesty in there, and you kind of get to see the inside scoop, like Dubas like worrying about. Last year it was the Anderson happened to come back when Campbell went down. Campbell happened to come back when Anderson went down, and then literally like, okay, we're gonna have to figure out like what we're doing with the goalies there. But there was some awkward little, because they didn't tell any stories. It was awkward when William Nylander took the boys out to like drive cars on a racetrack. It's like, this just doesn't fit. This fits if you tell a story. But like Hall and Muzzin golfing in their backyard is just awkward when there's no other story there. Like if they followed that story arc a little bit more or developed those characters kind of, it would have fit in, but otherwise it was just awkward.
That's kind of funny.
So I don't know. Those are just the things I picked up. It was a great watch. Don't get me wrong. And I think they did a decent job for like 5 episodes. There's just some things that I was just like, oh, that's interesting how they did that. Like when I watch a movie, I go in with an empty slate, like no expectations. So just kind of like, oh, like I wish I could have done that, or I wish I could have, you know what I mean? Like I liked it. Don't get me wrong. I liked watching. I liked the behind the scenes stuff, but and it's a good watch. Hey, it's less than 5 hours. It's like 4.5 hours combined because it's like 48-minute episodes. But
Decent.
Good watch. Guys, anything, we're going to do World Series stuff towards the end here. So anything NHL related that you guys want to talk about? Hold on.
A couple teams off to a hot start.
What do these 4 teams have in common? Blues, Oilers, Panthers, Rangers.
They haven't lost yet?
They're all first place in their divisions.
Yeah.
Yep. You know who looks really good?
They all haven't lost yet.
Who?
Either.
Bobrovsky. Did you watch the Panthers Flyers?
Minnesota Wild are tied with the Blues.
Yeah,
4-0.
Yeah. They're doing really well too. They've let in more goals than Minnesota Wild hockey usually let in. Tell you that much. Talbot's not got a great save percentage, and I know that because I do have him on my fantasy hockey team. He's getting wins. They had a huge comeback win this week.
Minnesota?
Yeah. That was something. That was really cool to watch.
They're a good team, man.
Really gutty win, but it's not the traditional Minnesota Wild hockey that you're used to seeing. It's not lockdown defense.
No, they got a lot more offensive talent.
Oh, it is a little more fire wagon than I think even Minnesota Wild fans would want.
Are used to.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. So check out some Minnesota Wild games.
Oh yeah,
but of
Eriksson
course,
Ek is a fucking underrated stud. He's having his coming out party this year.
And Kaprizov, according to Doughty, getting paid too much money for half a season in the NHL. But hey, then he's burnt. Then he goes and burns Doughty. So okay.
Yeah,
the irony. Yeah, Bobrovsky. I don't know. Did you catch the Florida Philly game, Mark?
I
caught bits.
Not any of it yesterday.
Wasn't Philly up and then they lost?
Yeah, Philly was up 2-1.
Yeah, Bobrovsky played real. Carter Hart. I didn't watch Carter Hart particularly. I noticed Bobrovsky more. Bobrovsky moving a lot better. Amy, I remember you mentioned that you like when I talk about goalies. So there's a couple goalies.
I do.
Last year and the year previous, Bobrovsky really let in Swiss cheese goals.
Yeah,
he scrambled as opposed to moved in front of the puck. He's moving in front of the puck this year. So I was the idiot of the 4 of us that did not have the Florida Panthers making the playoffs. So
I did.
Yeah. No, genuinely, I'm worried for the Leafs if the Panthers are this good. My thing with the Panthers was they weren't getting goaltending. Now they are. Look the fuck out.
Oh yeah, they're a deep team too.
Who's their other goalie?
Spencer Knight.
Right.
So my point was last week. It's either Bobrovsky or a guy that's played literally 5 games in the NHL.
Spencer's Knight only win this year's against Tampa Bay as well.
I'm not saying can't be good. I'm just saying that don't put all your like if Bobrovsky sucks, it's up to Knight who's played 5 games. Drieger's now gone. Drieger did a great job for them the past couple
seasons. I really like Drieger.
Yeah, he's now in Seattle. So, Bobrovsky looks great. Not letting in those cheap goals anymore. He's moving to the puck the way he was. He looks like the Bobrovsky that won the Vezina very early on. His save percentage is pretty good too. It's like 940 or something stupid.
942.
Yeah.
Through 4 games.
I when I was researching for my fantasy drafts and whatever, I was the trend was Islanders goalies are going to be unreal. Islanders goalies are going to be unreal.
Yep.
So I drafted Sorokin.
Yes. Varlamov's on the IR, so
And
Sorokin's getting the
Varlamov's
starts.
on the IR. He should be coming back soon, but I think you actually scooped Varlamov before I could,
It's the hospital ship over here. That's my MO.
which is fine. And what I found was that Sorokin was not very great the first few games of the season. Yesterday, he got a shutout, so I was pretty happy about that.
I haven't watched him this year. I remember watching him a bit last year and sort of seeing some flashes of positive from last year was his rookie season.
Right.
I will try my best to watch the Islanders because I just haven't had a chance to watch them. But Sorokin, yeah, I think he could be. Be a guy.
Granted, they played Arizona.
Is this Shaq
Yes,
in a
it is.
giant open limousine thing that's so Texas? It's almost hard to look at.
Ridiculous.
Did Shaq win the Grand Prix?
It looks like it.
Shit. I liked watching Nashville Rangers this week. Two goalies that I have my eye on are Shesterkin and Soros. I had Shesterkin high in the rankings. Shesterkin. He moves, he gets in front of the puck, and he's aggressive. So pucks will just hit him top of the crease for every shot. Looking really good for the Rangers. I haven't watched him very much. I didn't watch the Rangers last year just because the Rangers, whatever. So when I got to watch Rangers Nashville, because I was watching Nashville, and I happened to watch the Rangers, I'm like, oh, Sorokin. This guy's pretty noteworthy. Pucks hitting him, very aggressive, moving in front of pucks, not scrambling and reaching, just very...
Didn't Adam Fox have a good game that game?
I didn't. Truth be told, Mark, I was half paying attention to the game, half playing Pokemon cards and keeping Andrew entertained because he's still around until this evening. I got to drive him this evening, but... And Soros will get sniped on once in a while. He's letting a couple iffy goals. There's been a couple random ass goals that went in, like the Winnipeg game. He let in a couple just crazy bounces. But Soros is quick. He's just small, so he'll get snipped on.
Yeah.
Carolina, Svechnikov, I think sniped on him. Excellent shot, smaller goalie, so just lack of volume, so he just doesn't get hit by pucks the same
and
way.
And
it's Svechnikov. So yeah, I've those three goaltenders have just stood out for me, and Jack Campbell. I mean, it's fun to watch other goaltenders around the league as well. So, what'd you guys think of Seattle retiring number 32?
I thought it was pretty funny. See, it cost $9 for a bottle of water at the arena.
Climate Pledge Arena.
Yep.
9 doll hairs.
$9 for
Holy
a bottle
shit.
of water.
Is it not the same everywhere else too? I find, I'm pretty sure if you ask for a water bottle in the SBA, it'll be $9.
It's the ACC, Amy.
It's not.
Yes. It's a Sky Dome.
So, I don't know. I did a big eye roll when they retired number 32. I understand the significance of the 32,000 people that bought tickets or something to make the thing happen, and they're the 32nd franchise, but at the same time, it's eye roll. Kraken. Eye roll. Also,
I think that's hilarious.
I said their jerseys are cool. They're very distinct. I'm not sure if their branding is as good as I thought it was, because all they really got going for them is release the Kraken. It's beyond release the Kraken. What do they have going? What do they do? They have the Climate Pledge thing. That's more like the arena than the actual team brand. It's more like the franchise.
Release the Kraken.
Other than release the Kraken, what's their branding? So maybe I misspoke. Maybe that was a misread on my part. But
it's more exciting than a fucking maple leaf.
Yeah, but a maple leaf is OG.
Yeah. Don't get me started. Go down the rabbit hole of team names.
Also, the Mexican Grand Prix next week.
Oh, dang! Sergio Perez on the podium gets to go do his home race.
Or it's the week after. It's in 2 weeks, sorry.
Nice. Guys, anything else on hockey? We can't spend too much longer chatting here. I want to do a World Series preview little thing here. But anything else on hockey this week?
No.
Looking up and down the standings, one thing I'll point out, the Metro. What did you say the plus minus was for the Metro division, Mark?
Oh, I don't know. Good.
He's like plus like 32 or something.
Yeah, it's good.
Like the plus,
I
like
guess
the
so.
differential. Was that you that posted, or was that Ian that posted?
I think it was Ian. I didn't read any of that.
So every team in the Metro is above 500,
Yep.
as expected. So that's cool. The division that's looking the worst is the Pacific. They're on road trips. Like the Vancouver Canucks on a crazy road trip, and they're not winning very much. That might have something to do with it, but it's crazy like how tight that Metro division is. So genuinely, like as a Leaf fan, I want to see Leafs make the playoffs, but the Metro is going to be so tight that I have a feeling there's going to be 2 teams from the Metro making the wild card. So you better be in that top 3.
Yeah.
In the Atlantic, and if the Florida Panthers are 5-0,
Buffalo Sabres 3-1-1.
How about that, eh? How about that? The Buffalo Sabres. Montreal Canadiens finally got a first win, so their fans can stop freaking out. But listen, when they're like, you're not the same team without Carey Price and Shea Weber and Philip Deneau. Like, you pull out those guys, and
It's a big
yeah.
no.
Okay.
No.
Let's move on. Mark, tell us about the World Series here. So you got the Atlanta Braves and Houston Astros World Series. It starts like Tuesday. It starts this week.
Tuesday.
Yeah. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
It's Tuesday.
I think it's going to be a damn exciting World Series.
You say that about everything.
No, but
really
these
do.
2 teams are like...
Just
You got
okay.
Houston, who is the best hitting team in baseball this year, scored the most runs.
Yep.
Albeit, take it with a grain of salt because they are the Houston Astros.
Well, let's hope the Braves win.
Yeah.
Braves still do the stupid chop thing, which is very
Outdated. Like, come on, read the room, guys. Like, look around.
They do the tomahawk chop.
Oh.
Yeah.
Which is just, it's like, guys.
But I really like the
Yes.
Braves team. Alex Anthopoulos is the GM.
Yep.
He put together
Anthopoulos.
a damn good team after Acuna, Soroka, and who's that other guy that went down? They had a third guy go down who led the team in home runs and RBIs last year.
Acuna.
No, it was a different player.
Oh, do you
It
not
was-
did you mention him already? Yeah.
Yeah, it was due to like he's got an investigation going on him, so he hasn't played all year.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yikes.
Anthopoulos brought in a few guys at the around the trade deadline, and the Braves went off to end the season. Even though they were like they had a really good run differential before they started playing better at baseball, but
Right.
yeah, for the World Series though, I think both hitting lineups are about the same, but I think the Astros might have a bit of an upper hand in the pitching staff. But I think I just want the Braves to win. Getting to the World Series though was pretty insane for Atlanta. So you know how they won game 1 and 2?
Against LA.
Yeah.
LA.
They only held the lead for a total of 5 batters in those 2 games.
5 batters total.
Yep.
LA was winning most of the game.
Yeah.
Well, yes, I remember that. They comebacks.
Yep.
They were all, like you said, I've watched baseball and haven't really like absorbed a lot. I've just like when we've been out here hanging out, it's been on. Most of the games have been close, like you mentioned.
Yeah. The Dodgers lost 3 games started by Scherzer, Buehler, and Urias. Guess what their regular season record was between the 3 of them?
Dude. Like their win-loss
43 and 7 between the 3 of them. They lost 3 games in this series.
Wow. What say that again? 43
and 7.
And the 3 pitchers
lost a game this series each.
God. Who are the 3 pitchers again? Say them again.
Scherzer, Buehler, and Urias.
Oh, Urea?
Yeah.
Urea, yeah. Picked him in fantasy. Pretty good for me. But Scherzer, like, he was a stud this year, too.
Oh, yeah.
I think I had both of them on my team.
Yeah.
Actually. Yeah. It's like Scherzer, the old guy. There were questions at the start of the year. It's like, could the old guy do stuff? And yes, he could.
Joke's on you, he can.
Huh, yeah.
I don't know. Freddie Freeman walked 4 times in the game yesterday. Did not want to pitch to him at all. And then the Matic guy, Matic or whatever,
Matisse.
Relief pitcher for the Cardinals yesterday.
Cardinals.
I mean, the Braves came on with runners on second and third with nobody out, tying run on second.
Mm-hmm.
Then he struck out the next 3 batters.
Yes.
Friggin' insane.
Good for him.
I don't have much to say about the Astros. I figure Anything that needs to be said of them has already been said. I just really like the Braves team, and I hope Freddie Freeman wins.
So I texted my buddy Taylor, baseball guy. He puts it like this. So Atlanta's like the momentum team, the team of destiny. He's got that fuck you. Atlanta's got that fuck you energy that, for example, as he put it, the Leafs don't have. Not to make it all about the Leafs, but Amy, let's be honest.
Well, Atlanta could have folded as soon as they lost to
Toronto-based
Kuna.
podcast.
As soon as they lost Acuna, yeah, they lost that. They now they have. There's no
They
reason
lost
to play
their
scared.
spark. Yeah.
So there's no, so it's like, well, we lost our best player, one of the best players in the league. So fuck you, and they're doing it. Whereas Houston is sort of that relentless like favorite team. Like they have, despite all of the scandal and the garbage can, and
They're a
everything,
damn good baseball team.
they have winning pedigree.
Yes, they're a damn good baseball team.
And this is, quite frankly, the redemption story. Like, them winning the World Series without cheating, or without having allegations against them. It's like, no, we won straight out. So, like, okay, maybe those things helped us win before, but we could have won anyway.
Yeah.
And now we've proven it.
Well, they're a worse team this year, too.
They don't have Springer.
They don't have Verlander.
Nope.
Or Garrett Cole.
So it's a redemption story.
Yeah.
I
but
don't think...
Still, fuck the Astros and
I'm not saying no to that too, but now could they have won without cheating?
For sure.
This, yes, but now this could prove it.
Yeah, but they still cheated.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And Dusty Baker needs a ring.
Yeah, but fuck
The-
the Astros. He could have
Houston's
coached any
game.
other team but Houston, so...
That's literally why I think a lot of people are saying that's why they brought him in, was because it's like, let's bring in the manager,
lovable grandpa.
the manager that literally nobody can hate, as like the ultimate Band-Aid patchwork.
Oh, yeah.
Like, don't look here, let's put him in front of the microphone, and anything that, he's just gold. So, and finally get him a World Series. I don't know. I honestly, for me, the baseball playoffs, after the energy that we spent like cheering for the Jays and that run, I've just casually watched the playoffs. They've been good. Every game I've watched has been excellent. I haven't like brought notes to the show just because I'm like, I just wanted to enjoy baseball as opposed to yell about it or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, the game. Like, I haven't been yelling, but the games have just been wicked.
Yeah. They've been enjoyable. Like, it's like, yo, this has been entertaining. Like, why aren't the Boston Red Sox in the World Series? Did they not hit enough grand slams?
Yeah, literally.
They was trying to hit more grand slams. You know what? No.
The Schwarber, I called the Schwarber Grand Slam, though. I was out here with Ian. It was a 3-0 count. I'm like, Ian, the way he took the last pitch is like, just watch. He's going to absolutely crush this one.
I bet.
Pitch comes in. Boom! I was like, man, I wish I could have in-game bet that one right there.
Should have. Mark might be wealthy if he did that. Like,
I've done it a bunch of times, Amy. I've called so many home
But have
runs
you bet
and
on
shit.
them?
No.
I
So then it counts
couldn't.
for literally nothing.
Mark, we could have our own studio with all the money you could win betting.
Yeah. Facts.
Yeah, I know.
But you know why the
We
Red
could
Sox?
quit our day jobs.
Yeah, you know why the Red Sox didn't win?
I like my day job.
Didn't win a World Series though. Aren't in the World Series probably because their dress code, their wardrobe that they walk into the stadium wearing.
Yeah.
Oh, is that not a narrative? Oh, for a winning team? Oh wow. The Houston Astros. What do they wear coming into the stadium?
I don't know. Clothes, hopefully.
Oh. How about the Atlanta Braves?
Clothes.
But is it business casual?
I don't know.
Is it newsworthy?
They don't talk about it in baseball.
Is that because
They're more pissed off about guys throwing bats after hitting a home run.
That's true.
It's against tradition. You pissed the pitcher off.
Suck it up.
How dare you have
It's
a
like,
chain?
no, the bat
dressing
flip didn't
room.
piss the pitcher off. Throwing a bad pitch and the guy hitting it over the fence pissed them off. The friggin' getting pissed off about him throwing the bat means he's got a tight butthole.
Guys.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Guys. The dress code, though. Like,
Is baseball like casual wear to the games? Like, I don't know what they wear because it shouldn't have to be a story.
it does, because who gives a fuck?
Exactly.
Okay.
Obviously, you do.
No, we're making
It's
fun
a
of the
conversation
NHL.
again.
No, exactly. We're trying to make fun of the NHL.
It's a conversation because of how dumb the conversation is. Major League Baseball players, I'm pretty sure, get to the ballpark before the media camera people do, so that's why you don't get those shots of them coming into the building.
Well, they're there like hours and hours and hours before
BP.
the game. Yeah. It takes like guys like 3 hours to fucking warm up.
Mm-hmm.
Or do their pregame traditions.
It's literally like baseball. Like there's so much prep before a baseball game. Like when I played, I'd have to be there like an hour and a half before a game just to get ready. Especially if I was pitching.
I'm not that extreme, but they do get to the diamond a lot earlier than like NBA, MLB,
strolling like
NHL.
a 2-hour window before.
And I just don't think they capture. I just don't think there's cameras around to capture that on a regular basis. And who gives a fuck? There's like 162 games to talk about. They don't need to talk about.
That's probably why.
What's more interesting?
Should they wear a tie?
So you know what I like about baseball? They talk about the batting practice, like, oh, this guy was hitting good. I'm more interested in hearing that. It's like, oh, they should be talking about how Marner looked in warm-up or whatever. Is he handling the puck good? Not like, oh, he wore this into the thing. How's that going to affect the team morale?
Right.
Like in baseball, you hear like a lot of the Jays reporters, they're like, yeah, I saw like Vladdy was able to like take the ball opposite field today and all that. His swing looked good. And then he's like, he has a good hitting day in he goes like 2 for 3 with a walk. It's like, oh, he had a good BP. So chances are he's going to have a good day at the plate. Not like, oh, he wore blue jeans and a blazer. He's going to go 4 for 4.
I can't believe he didn't button up his top button.
It just has nothing to do with the sport.
All right, guys, let's wrap it up here. Let's wrap it up with Mark's prediction for the World Series.
I want it to go 7 because baseball.
Yep.
Braves in 7.
Braves in 7. Amy, what do you think?
Braves in 6.
Whoa! I'm going to say that everybody has a good time.
Except the Houston Astros.
I think the Houston Astros...
Suck a dick.
I think the Houston Astros are going to win. Yeah, I think they're going to win. I'd like to see the Braves win, but at the same time, like, the chopping wasn't okay in 92 when the Jays, like, I just remember asking my parents in 92, what the fuck are they doing? And my parents were like, don't do that ever. And if it wasn't acceptable then,
it sure as hell isn't now.
Literally 30 years later, and they're still doing it. So just for that, it's like, for the sake of those fans, I would love Alex Anthopoulos, but I'm not cheering for one team or the other. But at the same time, I'll just take Houston just against the chopping, just because it's like, what are you doing?
I know.
But like Ian said, at the start of the playoffs, can they both lose?
Freddie Freeman is Canadian, that's why.
Yes, and Alex Anthopoulos. Yeah, so I'd love to see them win too. I hope they all have fun.
I just want to see 7 games in a Braves win. 7 games. I think Game 7 World Series is the best Game 7.
Mark, are the Leafs going to win a playoff series before the Jays? Or will the Jays win a playoff series before the Leafs?
Jays are winning the World Series next year.
Okay. Amy, thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me. This was so great.
Can you just do an outro so Ian doesn't have to put an outro in? Just do an outro.
Thanks for listening to the Draft in Hand podcast. Is that it?
Okay, guys.
Was that it? Did I get it?
That's fine. That's probably fine. All right, everybody. Cheers.
Thanks for listening. Follow us on Twitter @DraftInHand.